everyone, there's me. That's the only time you'll see me in this video. So I am a huge nature lover. You may know this about me already. I have a huge passion for nature and the natural world and all its beauty. It's so stunning. It makes me feel so alive. It makes me want to get up every morning just to enjoy it. And I decided that I would combine my passion with something I absolutely love as well, which is my creativity. One day I went to the woods and I decided to collect all these supplies, just things that you could just take home with you, and I wondered what I could do with them. And this was the beginning of a really wonderful journey. I created several little things. I created this little terrarium bowl right here. I fell in love with making holes in branches and putting pieces of string through them and making wall hangings. In fact, I made 2 wall hangings, one's in my living room, one's in my bedroom, and they just make me feel so good just looking at them, to be honest. Bringing nature indoors. And then the other thing that I made was actually made from plastic flowers, but it was this flower crown. And I decided that it wasn't to be on my head all the time, so I placed it in my living room so I could see it whenever I walked by or whenever I was in there. And then spring came and so many flowers started to bloom, and to my surprise so many started to bloom in my garden, so many different flowers that I'd never really paid that much attention to before. Beautiful daffodils and all kinds of things really, and so I decided to collect some of them and I decided to make things with some of them, and the first thing I actually did was press them, and it was a learning process to press them. It wasn't an overnight sort of thing. I did it several times, failed sometimes. This was my absolute first attempt. I decided to film it. So I just took a book and started to arrange the flowers inside and close them up. As I said, it was a journey. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect at this yet. There's so many different ways of doing it. This time I just decided just to do what I felt, and I think that's the best creative way to go about, because then you learn everything yourself and there's no harm in looking things up now and again. But I absolutely love being in that creative flow process. I find it very easy to get into. I don't like planning. I've never liked planning really. I like planning out some creative time and then doing whatever I want to with that time. And I feel like you just follow your heart. It's almost like the creativity is something outside of yourself that's flowing through you, and it's really meditative, beautiful, present experience. And so with this book I just took a case of weights and placed them on top basically, and I just left them for 7 days to dry. I think they took a little bit longer than that, so my method wasn't very good initially. And I'm not going to show you the results of this one, but I did decide to do something with some of the other flowers that I didn't press. I bought some epoxy resin. Here's me making it up. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio. And you give it a bit of a mix. And I decided to put some flowers in there. And I bought this silicone mould online, which took forever to come. Unfortunately, as you'll see right now, there was a lot of bubbles. And this isn't the desired outcome apparently, but I thought it looked kind of beautiful in its own way. Again, I had a lot to learn. I put some heather in there and the flowers kept raising up and they wouldn't stay down. I had some difficulty to begin with, but I really enjoyed it. Then I took these little glass bottles and I pipetted some resin in there and added some things, some little flowers, some heather, all sorts of things in those, and I really enjoyed doing that as well. Again, they kept raising up to the top and I had to keep pushing them back down, but we got there in the end. And I also found out that flowers can change colour in resin, which I never knew. And here's some little coasters that I made that I keep on my table. And I decided to switch rooms and put my desk in another room to have like a little creative studio. Oh, there's some cards there that I made as well with some fresh flowers. Just having a space like this is really nice and helps me get into a creative mood very easily. And yeah, I decided to go on a little walk to my local nature reserve, and I picked up some cowslip. That's what you see me doing right now, and I didn't know anything about this flower. I didn't even know what it was until someone told me, and I thought, hang on, I can do something with this. And if you remember this little trip that I went on to the woods, it wasn't the first time I found that campsite, but I did some forest bathing. I hugged trees, I felt pine, and I smelled pine, and I just touched and smelled a lot of things and listened to the beautiful birds. And yeah, I also found this moss on a stick and I brought it home, I chopped it up, I put it in my terrarium, and I decided to use that moss to combine it with these little cowslip flowers that you see that were on this little branch I had, and I decided to combine that as well with some epoxy resin in this little box, and these were the results. I just think it's super cute. And some beautiful bluebells appeared in my front garden. They're stunning, and so I knew I had to press some of those, and so I pressed them and then I used them and epoxy resin again, and I made a tea light holder. I took another little trip to the marsh, and there were forget-me-nots everywhere in the little woods. They were absolutely stunning. I decided to press some of these, which were incredibly difficult because they're so delicate. And I also took some of the bluebells that I had pressed and I made another wall hanging. I initially made the tags, I painted them with some wood paint, and then I used epoxy resin to seal on the flowers. Then I decided to put the tags on a branch and drill some more lovely holes, and put a bit of string so you could hang it up on the wall. And I think this is also super cute. There's only one more thing that I have left to show you in this video, and as you can see, these beautiful flowers that appeared all over my cottage garden and through the ivy. I decided to press some of these and I created another wall hanging. Since I combine my two passions, I can transform any day when I'm not feeling too great or I'm exhausted from work into a much better one. It took me a long time to figure out what made me really happy in life. and I definitely spent many years struggling previously with my mental health. It is a dream of mine to spend my days appreciating nature and to be in creative flow as often as I can. And it can be very difficult when you also work full time. I'm enjoying my last day off work after having 2 weeks off by creating this little video and placing some items I have created onto my Etsy shop. If you would like to support me, please take a look and see if there is anything you fancy buying. Please also consider favoriting my shop. I aim to make many more things to sell in the future, and my home cannot be just full of all my creations. I'm just going to have to sell some of them, and I want to share them with people who also enjoy and appreciate nature like I do. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you again very soon.